Hello, criminal justice enthusiasts, and welcome back to You Are the Judge. In the last episode, we had a land claim case, which was interesting. I love the different types of trials we're having. Now we're going back into the criminal world, it looks like, though, and we're going to have Rachel Brown versus Chris Smith, which is an assault case. So let's jump back in, see what we have this week. All right, we got 3 new emails. Okay, the mayor's here, so that's interesting. About your last case, sir, I have some news for you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but it mentioned yesterday that the case from yesterday has put you in the spotlight. This has inevitably led to some criticism from certain quarters. A user posted an unfavorable post about you on social media. Lastly, we can say that today's decision has somewhat been overshadowed by the tension of yesterday. The effects of yesterday are still lingering in the public eye. That's all I have to convey to you. Alright. You have a new delivery. Today an envelope arrived at the courthouse on your behalf. We left the envelope on your desk. Alright, I thought this was the mayor here. It's just the courthouse overall, evidently. I prepared documents for your upcoming case and left them on the table in the courtroom for you. Additionally, the attorneys are waiting for you for the pretrial hearing. So that one should be on my desk here by the computer. I'll check that out here in a few moments. May need to meet with the Prime Minister more often. I should work on improving our relationship these days. Supreme Court relationship is very good. Number of people who love me among the public is greater, so that's grown. So really, it's only the government that doesn't like my decision there, and they were wrong. So they can, as far as I'm concerned, kick rocks. All right, let's see the social media posts. I've stopped by the market and saw a very cute street dog. There have been a burglary incident on a street above. How can I sleep peacefully? Does the municipality need to create new opportunities for young people? Shocker for a famous businessman. Very sorry I received the news. He has stated that it's a misunderstanding. Hopefully we'll overcome the situation soon. Get well soon. Would have liked to have a girlfriend who is a judge by profession. Don't you think the punishment for some crimes should be increased? I do, but really I don't need to talk about that publicly. What do we need to do to file a petition with the court? I'm not sure, otherwise I would answer her, but I don't know. Why do you need to go to college to become a judge? I'm not going to touch that issue. Currently, the courthouse is already one of the safest places in the country. Should security measures be increased at the courthouse? We'll see what this delivery is on my desk first, and then we'll go from there. So I've gotten 3 of my court cases correct so far. Let's see here. Dear Judge, I would like to introduce myself to you. I'm a wealthy businessman in this country who uses my money for the good of my country. I'm highly respected by important figures in the country. Unfortunately, my son is unjustly accused in the case that will take place today. I have full confidence that you will take special care with this case and make the right decision, which is to declare my son innocent. Please accept this gift, $500. No, I'm not accepting the gift. I don't take bribes. Not going to happen. We're upholding the law, as I said. Currently, the courthouse is already one of the safest places in the country. I'm going to go with that. I believe that is the case. So we've made a post there. So yeah, I'm not taking a bribe on that case. Just not, we're not doing it. Can't seem to get that to go away either, which is sort of annoying. Oh, there we go. So I had to sort of click through it onto the thing there. Hey, the rain stopped also. Just noticed that. That's a nicety. Do have a lovely view here. Would be nice to be in one of the taller buildings, so that way, I have an even better view, but at least I'm up above the tree line and stuff. Alright. Now that is not to say I might not find his son innocent. The Supreme Court stated that judges who are not satisfied with their working hours could leave positions, and they would be replaced by individuals who have not lost their sense of justice. Wow, alright, so the loyalty from the Supreme Court went down, and I really could care less. I was honest in my thing. I just think we need more judges, so that way I could have time at home with my wife and kids. That's the way I was voting on that last one, and that's fine. They don't agree with me. But yeah, I'm not taking the bribe, but that is not to say that I am against the son here. Son might be the right. I don't know. We will see when the case unfolds. My client wanted to cross the street last Monday because the green light was on. Okay. However, despite the red light being on for vehicles at that time, a car hit her. Therefore, she is complaining against the car owner. Alright, that's fairly straightforward. My client acknowledges that the car in question belonged to him. However, he denies driving the car that day. He mentioned that he took off his jacket at a party he attended and that the car keys were in the jacket pocket. When he wanted to leave the party, he couldn't find the jacket or the car. He stated that he thought one of his close friends had taken the car, so he went home. All right. The defendant, Chris Smith's father, is quite wealthy and a malicious person. Therefore, we believe he may attempt to influence the court in the course of the court. I wanted to inform you about this matter. He did, but I rejected it, so don't worry about it. We're all good. Your Honor, there exists a past relationship between the witness, Eva Green, who has been summoned to court, and my client that ended in a bitter separation. Therefore, her responses will undoubtedly be biased. We request you reject her testimony as a witness. I pretty much have no case where I will reject a witness. I'm going to listen to them. Whether they have something that's actually valid or interesting to add, I don't know. But I'm going to listen to them. So we'll try to keep an eye out for Eva Green in the trial. Oh, here's these cards again that I have no idea about. We're just going to go with number 1. You will not be able to meet with the individuals and institutions for 2 days. What does that mean? That doesn't seem like a good thing. I don't understand the cards. It's the one part of the game I'm really not a fan of. Everything else I'm fine with, even when they disagree with my decision. But the cards are stupid. That's just it. They're stupid. Alright, they're both neat, they're both respectful, one's calm, one's anxious. That's fine. We got the pre-trial there. Just gotta look at it so it checks it off the list here. And then we can examine the actual file here, the case file. Last week, on Monday evening around 11:30 p.m., a car hit a pedestrian. The pedestrian is not in danger of death, but will need to use a wheelchair for a long time. Rachel Brown is complaining against the owner of the car for this reason, but the car owner, Chris Smith, claims that he did not drive the car that day. The police who arrived at the scene report that there was no one in the car. Interesting. CCTV footage shows the moment the accident occurred. Alright, so I want to see that before anything else, pretty much. So evidence has been examined, files were examined. Perfect. Let's see this footage. Seems like a dark-haired person takes off running. I do like that I can freeze frame it. Looks like sort of brownish hair, sort of an average build. Definitely a male. Definitely could be him. Would be curious to find out what he was wearing the night in question. Alright. Let's start hearing from the sides here. What was the last thing you remember at the time of the accident? Alright, she's a liar already. She's supposed. Oh, never mind. I thought this was, Is this the plaintiff? Yeah. It says that she's gonna be in a wheelchair. You, ma'am, are a liar. You're standing up there perfectly fine. Liar. I don't know if that's just the game. Very well might be. I probably shouldn't use it as part of my judgment. Alright, what was the last thing you remember at the time of the incident? It was in the evening. I wanted to cross the street. But then I heard a screeching sound. After that, there's nothing else. I vaguely remember the car, but I'm not sure. To be honest, when I came to, I was in the hospital. Did you have a chance to see the person driving the car? No. As I said, I only heard a painful screeching sound. It's a bad memory. Alright. Do wish we had like a police officer that we were going to talk to and such. Tell us what happened the day of the incident. I attended a party hosted by my close friends. The car keys were in my jacket pocket. When it got hot inside, I took off my jacket and placed it on its seat. I had been drinking, so I called my driver to drive my car. When did you What did you do when your designated driver arrived? I told him where my car was and asked him to find my jacket. But later, he came back to me and said that my jacket was now nowhere to be found, and my car was not where I had told him. What did you do when you couldn't find your car and keys? The party I attended was with my close friends, and I thought one of them might have taken it. So I asked my driver to call a taxi for me. Then I took a taxi and went home. I didn't do anything different on the day of the incident. That's an odd statement at the end. He's also 20, and I'm not sure if the legal drinking age in this make-believe country is 18 or what, so I'm a little bit curious about that. The one thing I have a complaint with this game, other than like the cards and such, is there are other questions I would like to ask. Like, what was he wearing at the time that this went on? I also would love for a police witness to this case, the one who analyzed the crash, because he would probably have some valid information. I would also love to hear evidence that proves that he actually did take a taxi or not, because that would clear up all of the case really quickly. As it is, there's not a lot of information. Quite frankly, the thing that makes me mostly want to find that he's guilty is simply his father trying to bribe me. Hopefully the witness here has more information. Can you describe what you saw on the day of the incident? I was having a good time at the party, but I haven't been drinking for a long time. So I didn't drink that night either. Some of my friends who came to the party with me left early. So I was sitting alone. At one point, I saw Chris take his jacket and move to a different room. Did you see Chris when he was getting into the car? I saw Chris leave the house, but a few minutes later, around 11:10, when I went outside for some fresh air, I couldn't see Chris or his car. I think he did it. He hasn't provided any evidence that he did not. It was his car. Motor vehicle driver collides with a pedestrian by violating traffic rules, and as a result of this collision, the pedestrian is injured or loses their life. Culpable driver shall be deemed to have committed the offense of injury or death resulting from a traffic accident. In the event that the defendant driver causes injury to a pedestrian, that they may be sentenced to imprisonment ranging from 2 to 6 years or fined up to 200,000, taking into account the severity of the injury. The accident results from discrimination based on. All right, we don't have that. We just have so little to go on here. As I said, and the bribe by the dad is actually impacting my thought process. If the dad had just kept his mouth shut, I'd be more likely to say his son was innocent. I'm going to say he's guilty. All right, if I'm going to say he's guilty, then what is the possible sentence? 2 to 6 years or fined up to $200,000. And she's going to need a wheelchair for some time. The defendant's actions led to his car being involved in the accident, which has resulted in the plaintiff's need for a wheelchair. I was thinking about fining him, but the fine would have just gone to the state. It's not going to go to the plaintiff. So, with that in mind, $2 to 5 years. Let's say the WDDA's the case is being followed with great dedication by the public. People believe that this will set a great example. Let's do 5 years. I was not penalized. Wow. All right. Woo. I will say, if I do a second playthrough, one thing is, I think I'm going to go with the money one because I didn't realize I don't have to worry as much about what the public and stuff thinks as long as I'm doing the job correctly. So, yeah, I'd rather have more money. All right. We made it through that one. That one was a tough decision there. Your child is expressing unhappiness at the public school and wants to switch to a private school. What are your thoughts on this? We don't have the money to afford this. My children's education is quite important. Easy answer for me here. I will have to tighten the purse string some to make that work because he's going to go to a private school. Oh, we do have another case there, and we're going to have another murder case as well coming up. But with that, we have completed this case. Justice was evidently done, and this criminal is going to be sitting in prison for several years. I felt the 5 years was appropriate. Like I said, if the 200,000 could have gone to the victim, I would have been okay with that. But since the money is just going to go to the state, that doesn't help the victim at all. And since he's rich, it's like a slap on the wrist to him. I'd much prefer setting an example because this is not only hit and run, but it is also drunk driving. So he really needed to be taught a lesson for that, especially with the DA's encouragement or the assistant DA's encouragement. I agree with that. He needed to learn a lesson and it needed to set an example for the state. So with that in mind, if you agreed with my decision or liked what went on in the video, please go ahead and click that like button. If you've not already, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon, so that you're aware when I produce new videos in the future. Thank you, and I hope to see you all again for more of You Are the Judge.